You don't realize this, but your leg actually starts at about the level of your belly button, okay? Your third lumbar vertebrae, L3, is basically behind your belly button. And that is where the energy splits to go to your legs in order for you to have flow leg motion. I'm Leigh Ankrum. I've spent nearly 40 years with my hands on the human body, learning to treat the whole of a person, not just a part. This is where I share what the body has taught me. This is The Body Knows. Hi, welcome. Leigh Ankrum here. We're going to talk about flow of movement in the body. I'll give some ideas about how we get here so that we're less moving and what happens, and then go into like how we are actually supposed to move and some ideas that you can have about like how to get there, how to get back there. So our bodies are aerodynamically designed. We are designed for aerodynamic. So all the movements that we make and all the things that we do, whether it's walking down the block or whether it's going to sit down, whatever it is, or going to squat down, all of these things we are designed to do in an easy and effortless way. But I have to say, I haven't met many people that that's effortless for, including moi. I mean, seriously. So let's talk about how we get here. So there's many reasons and things and ways in which we get here. One of the big ones is that the more trauma I have, or the more my nervous system is carrying stress, anxiety, and those things, you naturally get a tighter body. So let me say this in another way, is that the more trauma I've had, the more stress I carry, the more anxiety that I have, what happens is that naturally my fight or flights turn on, so my whole body tightens. My muscles, my fascia, everything tightens down, creating a bump up in being more stiff, in having less flow in my body. So that's one way that I can get it. Another way, and we all know this, is repeated use patterns. So doing something where you're using your body in the same way all the time, without doing something that counters that, will create stiffness and less mobility, a lack of mobility. Also in that vein is if I sit at a job or I sit all day. If I sit all day without getting up, taking breaks and making movements, or I just have hours of sitting, then the body becomes more immobile again, stiffer, harder to get going, all of those things. Those are all the examples. Dehydration is another one to say that it's going to create a more stiffness in muscles and the fascia that's going to get less mobile with that. So all of those things. So obviously everything you can do so that you counter that. Make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you're moving. Make sure you're countering. If you have to do a job, because my goodness, many of us really have to work. So if you have to do a job, like my job is bending over the table all the time, I have to do something that actually counters outside of work what it is I do in work. So that's another piece of this. But I also want to talk about this aerodynamic quality here. So let me talk about this a little bit so that I can kind of give you the heads up. Let's talk about sitting down and standing up from sitting down. Let's do that. So when you sit down, most of us, you don't realize it, and I didn't realize it, is that you fall into the chair or you fall into the couch. And it's like, wow, I'm just falling back there. But you don't actually know that you're doing that. It's just so automatic. But really, the way you are supposed to sit down in order to make it completely effortless for your body and allow you to get up and down from a chair when you're 125 without effort, because most of the people struggle to get out of a chair as they get older. That's because they're using the wrong muscles to get up and down. So how do I get up and down? So when I'm standing, what I don't want to do is lift my chin and fall backwards into the chair. What I want to do is I want to fold forward from the top of my legs, keeping my whole upper body kind of straight, not rigid, just straight. I want to bend forward. I want to give a slight arch to my back, slight, and then I want to reach for the chair with my sit bones. That's what I do. I reach for the chair with my sit bones. Then when I sit down, I'm on my sit bones and I stack myself above my sit bones. That is how you sit down. That's how I sit down. Body comes forward, bends forward, I arch my back a little, my sit bones go back, go into the chair, sit up, and then I'm sitting up in great posture besides, because I'm all stacked up rather than I'm in a slump, in a slouched position. To get out of the chair, the opposite is true. Once again, I don't want to lift up with my chin to get out of the chair. I want to keep my head on my body. I want to bend forward from the tops of my legs, but this is one flow motion. So when I stop it to do my head, my try to get up, it won't happen. But if I use the flow motion of my body bends forward from the top of my legs, I imagine the muscles on the inner thighs going back to my sit bone, I will just boom, and I'll be up. And you can do that till you're 125 without ever having to struggle to try to get out of a chair, which is what happens because the other way you use your quads, and that's not what your quads are actually designed for. So the one other thing I'll talk about is how one should actually walk with flow. So you don't realize this, but your leg actually starts at about the level of your belly button. Okay, your third lumbar vertebrae, L3, is basically behind your belly button. And that is where the energy splits to go to your legs in order for you to have flow leg motion. So I have to think about my leg as starting at my navel, behind my navel. And that's my hip flexor we're going to be using now. When I go to take a step, so I bend one knee and I'm weight bearing on the other leg. And then what happens is that my low back actually gives a little bend to the side with the straight leg. And what should happen is I reach my other leg out. I don't reach far. I reach my other leg out and I heel strike in order to get onto that other leg so that it's a motion from my belly button all the way to my heel. And then I put that foot down. I transfer my weight over there. I'm on this straight leg with my weight bearing. I bend my opposite knee. I do the same thing. My hip drops, my leg extends, I hit my heel, but it's an extension all the way from the belly button. And that is the way walking should be. There's no swinging. There's no nothing like that. Is that when you have problems and issues within the pelvis, it can stop that. But my hip flexor is supposed to do this flow from side to side in order to get us moving. I hope that helps you guys. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you found it valuable, please subscribe to the show and share it with someone with whom you think it might benefit. Until next time, keep learning.